Before you pass over an old ring at an estate sale, thrift counter, or family jewelry box, look very closely. Because some vintage rings that appear dusty, outdated, or even unfashionable have sold for shocking prices. We are not just talking about royal diamonds or museum pieces. Some old rings became valuable because of their gemstones, some because of their age, some because of the designer name, and some because collectors saw history where everyone else saw an old-fashioned ring. Today, we are counting down 30 vintage rings that shocked collectors with their value. And make sure you stay until number 1, because the final ring sold for a price so unbelievable, it became one of the most famous jewelry sales in history. At number 30, we have Victorian mourning rings. These may look dark, simple, and strange to modern eyes, but collectors love them because they carry deep history. Many were made with black enamel, gold, seed pearls, or even hairwork under glass. A ring like this is not just jewelry, it is a personal time capsule from the 1800s. At number 29, look for antique hairwork rings. Some people find them creepy, but serious collectors see craftsmanship and emotion. These rings were often made to remember loved ones. When the gold work is detailed and the condition is strong, prices can climb far beyond what a casual buyer would expect. At number 28, Georgian paste rings can be surprisingly valuable. Paste stones are not diamonds, but Georgian examples are handmade, old, and beautiful. A sparkling paste ring from the 1700s or early 1800s can sell for shocking money because collectors care about age, setting, and survival. At number 27, we have rose-cut diamond rings. These diamonds do not sparkle like modern brilliant cuts, but that is exactly why collectors love them. They have a soft, candlelit glow. When set in silver-topped gold or antique closed-back settings, they can look romantic and rare. At number 26, old mine-cut diamond rings are another treasure. These diamonds were cut by hand, so each one has personality. The shape is often cushion-like, with chunky facets and a warm antique sparkle. Buyers who want something different from a modern engagement ring often pay strong prices for them. At number 25, old European-cut diamond rings can shock sellers. These round antique diamonds were popular before modern round brilliant cuts took over. A clean, well-proportioned old European-cut diamond in a platinum or gold setting can bring serious money at auction. At number 24, Edwardian platinum rings are collector favorites. They often have delicate lace-like metalwork, tiny diamonds, and graceful shapes. Even when the center stone is not huge, the craftsmanship can make the ring valuable. At number 23, Art Deco onyx and diamond rings are always exciting. Black onyx mixed with white diamonds creates a bold, graphic look. These rings feel stylish even today, and the best examples can sell for far more than ordinary vintage jewelry. At number 22, Art Deco emerald rings are another major category. The 1920s and 1930s loved geometry, color, and glamour. A strong green emerald in a clean deco setting can turn a small ring into a major collector piece. At number 21, sapphire and diamond cluster rings are easy to underestimate. Many people see them as traditional, but older examples with rich blue stones can be valuable. If the sapphire has strong color, natural origin, and a good certificate, the price can rise quickly. At number 20, ruby cluster rings can also sell for surprising amounts. A vintage ruby ring with a bright red center stone and old-cut diamond surround can attract collectors, especially if the ruby is untreated or from a famous source. At number 19, Colombian emerald rings are some of the most dramatic. A fine emerald does not need to be enormous to be valuable. In one recent auction example, a Colombian emerald ring sold for hundreds of thousands and beat its estimate by a huge margin, showing how hungry collectors are for top-quality greenstones. At number 18, turquoise Victorian rings are worth watching. Bright blue turquoise in old gold settings can look simple, but good examples are beloved by collectors. If the stones are well matched and the ring has a floral or forget-me-not design, it becomes even more charming. At number 17, antique opal rings can sell for shocking prices when the color play is strong. Opals are delicate, so condition matters, but a fiery old opal surrounded by diamonds can be a real treasure. At number 16, moonstone rings from the Art Nouveau era have a dreamy glow. They are not usually as expensive as diamonds, but rare designer examples and beautiful settings can bring strong collector interest. At number 15, enamel rings are often overlooked. But old enamel work is hard to preserve. If a ring has bright, clean enamel with little damage, especially in a snake, flower, or symbolic design, it can become very desirable. At number 14, serpent rings are one of the most collectible antique styles. Queen Victoria helped make serpent jewelry fashionable, and collectors still love the symbolism of eternity, love, and protection. Gold serpent rings with gemstones can sell very well. At number 13, vintage signet rings can be worth more than expected. A plain old signet may not bring a fortune, but heavy gold, family crests, carved hard stone, or famous ownership can change everything. At number 12, jadeite rings can reach shocking prices. Not all jade is valuable, but fine jadeite with strong color and translucency can be extremely desirable, especially in Asian markets. At number 11, coral rings from the Victorian and mid-century eras can surprise people. Natural coral jewelry has become more sensitive and collectible, and older pieces in good condition can attract buyers. At number 10, cocktail rings from the 1940s and 1950s are bold, colorful, and dramatic. These oversized rings were made to be noticed. Citrine, aquamarine, amethyst, and topaz cocktail rings can sell well when the design is strong. At number 9, vintage Tiffany rings are always worth checking. A Tiffany name can turn a nice ring into a much more desirable ring. Large diamond examples can bring hundreds of thousands at auction. At number 8, Cartier rings are collector magnets. Whether it is Art Deco, Trinity, tank-inspired, or a signed gemstone ring, the Cartier signature carries serious power. Condition and authenticity are everything. At number 7, Van Cleef & Arpels rings can bring huge results. Their vintage sapphire, diamond, and gemstone rings often attract collectors who want brand history and fine design together. At number 6, Bulgari rings are famous for bold color and confident style. A vintage Bulgari ring with a rare colored diamond or important gemstone can move from expensive to shocking very quickly. At number 5, David Webb rings are loved for their chunky, powerful designs. Animal rings, enamel rings, and bold gold gemstone pieces can sell for high prices because they have a recognizable look. At number 4, colored diamond rings can completely change the game. Yellow, blue, green, and pink diamonds often sell for massive prices because natural fancy colors are rare. Even a ring that looks small can be worth a fortune if the diamond is rare enough. At number 3, pink diamond rings are among the most shocking sellers. Recent auction examples have shown pink diamonds selling for millions, and collectors compete fiercely for strong color, high clarity, and famous jewelry house names. At number 2, blue diamond rings are in another league. One famous blue diamond known as the melon blue sold for tens of millions, proving that rarity, color, and provenance can turn a ring into a global headline. And finally, at number 1, we have the Pink Star Diamond Ring. This incredible pink diamond sold for more than $71 million at Sotheby's, becoming one of the most famous jewelry auction moments ever. It proves the biggest lesson in vintage and high jewelry collecting. A ring is never just a ring. It can be history, rarity, design, emotion, and investment all in one tiny object. So, before you dismiss an old ring as outdated, look again. Check the cut of the stone, the metalwork, the maker's mark, the age, the condition, and the story behind it. The ring sitting quietly in a drawer might not be worth millions, but it could still be worth far more than anyone in the family realizes. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more vintage treasure stories, and comment below. Would you rather find an antique diamond ring or a rare colored gemstone ring?